anything positive. Everything we ever heard about Troy was negative.
Troy was our role model. Troy was a role model. You know, Troy was like a big brother to me long before I knew Troy was my cousin. You know, Savannah's a small city. You find out everything eventually. But, you know, Troy was we had in our neighborhood, we had a park, a big park, and Troy would organize cookouts at the park. And, you know, it would be all the generation of guys, the older guys would be out there showing us how to do stuff, playing horseshoes, you know, teaching us how to hit, talking to us, you know. And Troy always stayed on me. He always wanted me to be better. He always made me dig deep as I can down into my craft because he said that's what was for me and that's what I need to focus on. But you're talking about a man who was a little league football coach. Our football team was the Cloverdale Pals. PALS stands for Police Athletic League. He coached for the police system. His father was a police.
Oh
See,
God.
it's a lot of things that they kept closed away from the media, and of course, we never got to say when we had this, you know, time to say it. But you know, Martina, she has done a wonderful job. She has been
Martina's
in every
Troy's
corner.
sister, yeah.
That's right. She's been in every corner of the universe talking about Troy and getting these facts out. You know, she's shown people in black and white for years at rallies, passed out all copies of court documents. We've been proving this stuff to people for years that this whole thing was just drummed up and Troy's face was put on it. He was never guilty. He was never there. He had anything to do with it.
All right, well, on that note, like I said, we've talked about his life, his death. So, okay, what do we do now? What's next for us?
What's next
What
for
does
us?
your family want us to do?
This is what needs to be understood. It was a fight of solidarity. It wasn't just black people fight for Troy. His spirit took over this whole fight.
It did.
And everybody was able to fight in peace and shoulder to shoulder and arm to arm, okay? And that's what he believes in. You know, that's what, if you went and visited with Troy, Troy was the type of person, he had a spirit, he would just light you up every time you come into the room. You can go there feeling down and man, he'll make you leave there feeling like $1 million. That's who he was.
Even toward the end on death row.
Down to his very last words he spoke to me, down to the very last time I saw him, 3 o'clock that same afternoon he passed. Down to that very last second. That's who he was because he was at one with God.
Okay. Whew. I don't even know why I had this today.
Troy knew, as much as we've talked over the years, Troy knew that he was to be used, he was to give his life away to save other people's lives. See, had this line not been drawn, it's a lot of situations wouldn't be able to take place. And we would have this situation happening over and over and over and over, and we'll still be asking, why isn't anything being done? Why don't we see this?
But there's a lot of black men right now that are still on death row.
Yes.
So the situation is still going on. So we have to start, I mean, seriously, starting today, we got to do more.
You know, I've sat down, all the times I go there, he had all my music and, you know, inside, so we were always together. Either I was home reading letters or, you know, getting phone calls from him, or he was there listening to me the whole time, and we were always together some kind of way. But, you know, when I go out there to visit, all the other inmates would be, you know, talking, and they, you know, talking to their families, their respective people, and, you know, they'll take a little time out to come talk to me because all of them got to know me over the years. I've had cold-blooded, hearted killers look me directly in my eyes and tell me, yeah, I should die for everything I did, but he don't deserve to be in here. He's not guilty of anything. He didn't kill anybody. He's not like the rest of us. As a matter of fact, he was the one that gave everybody something to look forward to. If you didn't have a pair of shoes and you came in there, Troy had a pair of shoes, he'd give them to you. If you didn't have a pen or pad, he would give you whatever he had. He tried to make everything as peaceful and godlike as possible around him for himself and anyone else involved. And that's why he gets such respect from some of the guards. Now, you have some of the guards that were just out for self. You know, like Troy mailed home a lot of his stuff towards the end, and he was writing his life story. That book is missing, and I know what officer took it.
Yeah.
You know, that book just but not never surfaced.
Well, wait a minute, let me say that again. So you're saying that Troy started writing his life story
He
in
had been writing
prison,
it for a long time.
and you're saying that now no one knows where the book is? So you think somebody in the Savannah jail system has taken it?
No.
Who do you think?
That started up here at this prison. That was
At
in
this
this prison.
prison?
Yeah,
Okay.
And that was only a few weeks before everything took place. So he had just mailed it home, and he knew who took it, and I know who took it. See, that's the thing. It really doesn't matter what they think or say to me, what they want to say about me. It doesn't matter. They recorded every phone conversation we had, except a few times we got to have contact visits. They recorded every conversation we had, and we said what we needed to be said to each other so we could understand. I needed to understand what you need me to do this week, what you need me to get done if I come back down here and see you next weekend. You know, so we didn't have time to tiptoe around
Yeah.
somebody listening on the phone. And for that case, they still got phones tapped now. So I really don't care. You can listen all day if you want to. I mean, what we're doing is the right thing.
All right, Gerald. Well, okay, still, we don't have a lot of time left. I still want to get audience participation. But before we close, I want to talk about what do we do now? What is our next step?
Well, first off, our next step is people need to get out and vote. Because if they only
Wait
knew,
a minute, I got to clap on that.
Yeah.
Y'all, we got to vote.
if they only knew why these laws are still on the books and why it's so incredibly difficult to get something.
Okay, wait a minute. You just said like laws on the books. A lot of us don't read. So how do we know? I mean, it's one thing to say that we need to go vote, but if you don't know what you're voting for, what do we tell the audience? What do they need to do so they know
They
what
Google
they're
rap
voting?
videos and dance videos. Google the
Yeah.
states and the laws
Yeah.
of your state.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Well, here's the main issue. Every judicial election is an election.
Yes.
It's too easy for incumbents to
To walk
continue to be on the bench, to continue to be in the state legislature, and continue to pass these laws and continue to keep this system working the way it works. So that's the first thing they need to understand. The second thing, you need to go and watch a criminal trial.
Okay.
Understand how it goes
Okay,
down.
so wait a minute. So the people who are here, the people who are watching,
Yes.
can anybody just break it down for me once again?
Okay.
What do you just go down to the courthouse?
You go down to DeKalb County Courthouse, Chatham Courthouse.
You're a taxpayer.
Lowndes County Courthouse.
Yeah.
It's free.
Okay.
It's public. They
Okay.
cannot ban you. And watch a trial. Watch how they impanel or pick a jury. Listen to the law the judge reads to the jury, and then watch how a jury returns a verdict. And you'll be so shocked and so appalled at how easy it is for somebody to lose their freedom, their rights, and ultimately their life.
All right,
Yes.
so after we go there
Yes.
and after we watch a case, then what's next? What do we do next?
Then we go back to our communities and we talk about with our children what can happen to you if you continue down this road.
Okay.
Because it's very simple. It's just like he said, and people don't understand this. In Georgia, it only takes one witness to prove a fact. One. I can come in and say, you robbed me, and you could be doing life.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I'm not going to be able to get into evidence that you have character issues that everyone in the community knows about unless I can prove a certified conviction of which, or I got witnesses that can testify to that.
So anybody here can go and say I robbed them,
I robbed them.
and I can get and they
You
will
can get
arrest me.
arrested for that
Okay.
without proof. Now, today, hopefully the police will take DNA. They will do fingerprints. They will do audio tape statements, but sometimes they don't do any of this. Sometimes they just show up, take a report, turn in, you get arrested, you get a public defender, you get a trial, you go to prison.
Oh my God.
Now, I used to be a public defender.
Process.
I loved every day of it because I was a true advocate. I wanted to fight for my clients. But when you're overworked and underpaid, you're not going to fight all the time.
So give me an example of what a public defender would make.
Ooh, depends on what county. I mean, you know, you might be in an outlying county where you might make $42,000
Oh my God. 42
A
after
year.
going to law school.
after going to law school.
Okay.
You come in your first day from passing the bar and you dumped 150 cases, murders, rapes, child molestations, trafficking, all this stuff. And now you got a judge and a DA telling you you're on a trial calendar next week with 15 cases and you better try every one of them.
So you just don't care.
It's not that you don't care. You become burned out.
Okay.
You've been told the same thing over and over again. And you, at this point, you know what? I'm just going to make this paycheck.
That's
But
awful.
you also have lawyers, and this is the part that people don't really understand. We need to fund our public defender council. Right now, they have a little bit over $1.5 million worth of public funding for the entire state.
That's awful. So what do we do? How do we fund it?
We need to stop. If we're going to continue to build prisons, we need to put the same amount into building the prisons and defending the individuals so we make sure we have guilty people
Yeah.
going to prison.
Yeah.
And definitely guilty people on death row. Because, I mean, especially in Troy's case, and I was sitting in Washington, D.C., when I heard unfortunately, he was put to death.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought about my bar card, and then I thought, you know what? I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
If they can put an innocent man to death. Why? Not because I know for a fact he was innocent, but
You do know for a fact.
But I know based on the law,
That's right.
he was innocent.
You're right.
Because reasonable doubt is one person
That's right.
lying. Woo! When you have 7 witnesses come forward and say I lied,
Yeah.
that's
7.
too much doubt.
That's too much.
And
now.
then let me give you the reason why all of them did that, because they pretty much all lived in the same area we did. At the time, either they had pending drug charges or was on probation for something or anything else you can think legal that would cause a problem, and they were all threatening the same thing. If you don't sign this statement, we're giving you 25 years.
Oh my God.
Every last one of them were told that.
Did that come out in court?
They didn't mean for it to, just like
It's gonna
everything
come
else.
out now.
You know, but that's how the system works in Savannah, man. I'm sorry, it is. And I love my city. I love the people there. The city of Savannah, killed Troy. The people of Savannah, we call ourselves the Seaport. We the people of that city. So that's our city. That's the city that we try to help, and we look out for each other and
Are
do
you
the best
still
we
living
can.
in Savannah?
Nah, wouldn't raise my kids in that.
Okay.
Wouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I got a son, and that's just a chance I'm not willing to take. Because I'm not going to let nobody hurt him by any means necessary.
Yeah,
so.
but this is still the state of Georgia.
It's still the state of Georgia, but you would be amazed how much difference it is from Savannah to
Okay.
Atlanta. Just 327 miles. You would be absolutely amazed.
And you know what? I've been to Savannah many a times in my life. I used to think, oh my God, I love Savannah. It was a great weekend getaway. After this story, I'm going to be honest with you. Forget Savannah. I'm never going back there. Never. Never.
We still have the same people in power, whether they're on a bench or not, and it's really just that simple. And just like I said, it goes back to Spencer Lawton's gonna start speaking out now. The current DA, Larry Chisholm, okay, Larry crusaded in the beginning on we gonna get Troy and we fight for Troy and Troy this and Troy that, and got in office and hadn't said one word in I think 3.5 years. The death warrant was signed. Okay, now he is the head of the district attorney's office. The death warrant was signed. He didn't put his name on it. I don't know if he thought, that would make him look good in some light or whatever, but we understand that you run that office. If it came out of the office, whether your name was on it, you pretty much gave permission and knew. So don't think just, I understand a lot of times politicians make moves and they're trying to think of what it's going to look like, but, you just stood out in the middle of the street and threw a rock and hid your hand in front of everybody.
Hold
That's
that
exactly
thought.
what you did.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a commercial, and we'll be right back.
I have a question. I'm very active in the political system, and I'm very, very strong at advocating voting. So I just wanted to get clarity on a statement that you said about the district attorney. Is it true that you're saying that the district attorney who's now in Savannah kind of used Troy's case to kind of win election, and then after he won election, he disassociated himself?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, I couldn't say it no better than you just said it. That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's what he did, and he hadn't spoke out, but when you got the former district attorney who still runs the city, Spencer Lawton, calling you every day, telling you what you better not do, I don't know, maybe that was a motivation for it, but he campaigned for office, and he came to the family for support and everything else, and, I guess his support was not putting his name on a death warrant.
Well, I guess this is one example for all the viewers to really understand how important voting is.
Yeah, and understand, the DA by himself had the power to open this case.
Absolutely.
By himself, it could have stopped right there at him. But, that's exactly what. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to make a statement. I think Troy life lives on through all of us.
Yes.
We have to support our own.
Yes.
We do not support each other in every aspect, from business
Yes.
to parenting, everything.
Yes.
I can remember a time when we used to be on a bus and we did something wrong, whether you were family or not, you were corrected.
Yes.
We got to go back to that. We have the power to do that.
Yes.